I'm Glen Matten, a nutritional therapist with a master's degree in nutritional medicine, and I run the nutrition clinic here at Kicks. I'm going to be telling you all about the key things to eat to get lean and get in shape, and after I've done that, personal trainer Aaron will come on to talk about all the important things you need to be doing with your exercise routine to really target fat loss. I'm going to begin by talking a little bit about how to eat right to maximise the benefits from your training. First of all, you have to think breakfast is king. Forget sugary, carb-laden breakfasts of toast and cereal and fruit juice and start to think about protein-rich breakfasts. Here we're talking about things like scrambled eggs or even some leftovers, some chicken, some whole grain bread. Protein at breakfast will help you feel fuller for longer and curb your appetite. Next up, we know sugars are a no-no when it comes to losing body fat, but also think about fructose or fruit sugar. A good guide is not to exceed 25 grams per day of fructose. That's typically what you would find in a couple of pieces of fruit. When it comes to things like fructose-laden fruit juices, they contain way too many sugars and you're best off avoiding those. Next up, protein. Prioritise protein at meals. Things like chicken, lean meats, fish, seafood, eggs. Protein is more satiating. It leaves you feeling fuller for longer. Next up, we need to think about bulking meals out with lots of non-starchy fruits and vegetables. They're full of fibre, low energy dense, and packed full of disease-preventing phytonutrients. When it comes to carbs, we need to think smart. We need fibre-rich, low GI carbohydrates in moderate amounts. We're talking things like whole grains, beans and pulses, and sweet potatoes. When it comes to all the white refined carbs, forget it. We need to give those a wide berth. The best time to eat carbohydrates is early in the day or either side of a resistance training exercise session. Next up, it's not just what you eat, but when you eat that really counts. The body can't handle sugars and glucose as well later in the day. That means it's important to eat your evening meal earlier and keep carbs and especially sugars low at the evening meal. Finally, you've got to think about what you drink. And when it comes to drinks, we want to avoid sugary and sweetened drinks, and remember that alcoholic drinks add a lot of unnecessary empty calories. If you want to give your metabolism an extra push, then I recommend switching to green tea instead. There's some of the key tips. I'm going to hand you over to Aaron, the personal trainer, to give you some of the key tips for exercising smart as well.
Hi, my name's Aaron. I'm an advanced personal trainer here at Kicks. I'm here to tell you about some principles for fat loss training. So there's one big thing that we want to keep in mind when we're undertaking a fat loss program is we want to try to have a maximum calorific output during the session. First of all, we want to make sure that we have high volume in the session. This means having a lot of reps total for the session. Next one, we want to make sure that we have sub-maximal loading. So what this means is because we're doing a lot of reps, probably between 8 to 15 reps for our sets, therefore we need to use a load we can do for that rep range. So we're not going to be using our 1 rep max for fat loss training. Next is range of movement for the exercises. We need full range of movement to try to incorporate as many muscles as possible. So these will be exercises like squatting, deadlifting and their derivatives, along with pushing and pulling. Next, we want to have as many planes of movement used in our exercises. This will recruit more muscle mass and then we'll make the muscles work through different ranges. The last principle we want to think about is our rest. We want incomplete rest because this will help us use different energy systems, the anaerobic and aerobic systems as well. Another little trick that we can use to accelerate our fat burning is fasted cardio. Now, the University of Northumbria recently did a study on this and found that people that engaged in fasted cardio, so this was exercising before they had breakfast, burnt 20% more body fat than the control group. Now, this isn't a new tip. This is something the bodybuilding world has known for a while, and they often use this pre-contest in order to lean up. And if you follow these key principles, it will definitely accelerate your fat loss program getting ready for summer.
Some really great points there from Aaron, and just picking up on that last point, that whole idea of fasted cardio training, the reason that can be so helpful, for example, doing your cardio training first thing in the morning after an overnight fast is because the body hasn't got much readily available fuel, so it will start to dip into its fat reserves to fuel that energy session. If you want to do that and preserve your muscle mass at the same time, taking some protein or some branched chain amino acids beforehand will do the trick. But ultimately, there are no quick fixes. Don't be suckered by the diet industry, the fitness industry, to think there is some miracle solution to this. You need to exercise smart, and you need to accompany that by eating smart. And hopefully we've given you some key tips today.